to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
Thank you for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I've been doing stuff with you guys for a while, but then didn't know because you have a couple different like offices, locations. Tell our audience what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I run 2 different practices. One is First Health Medical Center, and one is Mystique Medical Spa. So First Health Medical is a company that my dad started a long time ago. We moved into the building that we're in now in 2005, and that side of the office specializes in car accident patients. And we also do regular personal injury like slip and falls. We do work comp as well in general urgent care. And we have an x-ray on site, so you don't have to go out for your x-rays. We have 3 chiropractors and a medical doctor. So God forbid you're in a car accident, odds are your primary care physician is going to send you our way.
And they did, and they were great. Oh my gosh, I have like the best relationship with like one of the chiropractors.
Dr. Rustigan's great. He's also Armenian like us.
Yeah, same. So it was like, yeah. So when I came in, they'd just be like, "Oh, he's here," or "He's not here." Or they take. I said, I liked all of them, but they knew that we had like a special friendship, so that was cool.
Yeah. Well, the Armenian runs deep in Fresno, so.
No, that was awesome. Okay, so there's that, and then how'd you guys go from there to?
Yeah. So over 20 years ago, there was a doctor working at our office that was really interested in bringing Botox in. It had just launched in the U.S. And so, you know, if you don't know, Botox is a 100-unit vial. And back in the day, the dosing was only for the glabellar. So, you know, I just had Botox, so mine's not gonna wrinkle too well. But anyway, so we'd get 4 or 5 patients lined up just to treat their glabellars. And that was it, once a month. And Mystique has grown from there. So this is actually our 15-year anniversary. We officially became Mystique in 2008, even though we started offering aesthetic procedures in 2004. We were dabbling with the name. And my dad and I actually settled on Mystique together. He wanted to name it Cirrus. I was not a fan of that. And
oh no, Mystique's great. I love the name. It's perfect.
Back in the day, people would schedule their appointments and they were very secretive. They'd call and say, "I want to schedule my Botox." Or they'd come in with big sunglasses and a hood on.
That is so funny.
Because it was such a kind of like a taboo service back then.
I lived in LA, so I get it.
Well, it can go both ways in LA.
Right.
But yeah, so I started Googling synonyms for mystery and we landed on Mystique.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I never would have guessed that that's why it came about.
Yeah.
And then do you also do Botox like medically? Because I know Botox helps a lot of people. A lot of people get it like in their stomach or get it in their hand for medical purposes.
Yeah, hyperhidrosis, things like that. We don't do insurance billing for Botox, so there is definitely a sec that, you know, you want to go through your insurance on that. I personally actually started getting Botox when I was 21, not for wrinkles, but because I had really horrible headaches.
Yeah.
I'd been to so many different doctors trying to figure out why I had headaches and nothing was working. And I'm a chiropractor's kid. I didn't want to take pills my whole life. And so someone working at our office was like, "Let's just try this." And to be real frank, I had one of the worst headaches of my life for 2 weeks after. I thought, what the heck did I do? But it was because my muscles here were so thick that you could actually stick my pinky nail here and you wouldn't be able to see my nail. That's how thick that muscle was. And so I was getting really bad tension headaches. There's a bunch of different types of headaches that Botox can help with. So we're not in the migraine world if you're going to come into Mystique, but it can definitely help headaches if you have, I guess I had a very serious face all the time.
That is so funny. You had like RBF.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Before RBF was a term, I guess that's what I was fixing. So yeah, I've been receiving Botox I'm 34 now. So for the last 13 years. And I mean, I get an occasional headache like every now and then, like everyone else, but nowhere near where I was.
And so does your dad still do chiropractic work?
I wish. My dad actually passed away in 2018.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so you're like living it on. And that is, what a great story.
Yeah, my dad had unfortunately got diagnosed with ALS in 2018.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, he lasted about 6 months from there. So yeah, in 2018, thank goodness I was already running the spa. So for let's call it 7 and 8 years prior, that was my full-time job. I was the office manager of Mystique. And then when he passed, I shifted into my current role, which is I'm the COO, Chief Operations Officer now of both First Health and Mystique Medical Spa. So my day shifts between people that are coming in with broken bones and, you know, slip and falls and car accidents to the aesthetics at Mystique. It's a very interesting day that I have.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys do besides Botox? What are the other services that the Mystique part offers?
Yeah, Botox is definitely a foundational service that we have at our office, but we also do fillers, laser hair removal, skin tightening, IPL photo facials for brown spots, cool sculpting for fat destruction, cool tone for muscle building. We can do that on your abdomen, your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings, microneedling for scar revision, not only scar revision, but actually helping with fine lines and wrinkles and pigmentation. We have hydrofacial. That's a super popular service right now that helps. It's like a power washer for your face, I guess I call it. And then we have Diamond Glow. That's a medical grade microdermabrasion, dermaplaning, light therapy. I mean, I'm probably not listing everything. We're a pretty one-stop shop before you're going to get to the surgical realm.
And you try a lot of yours. So I like that. And I like that you said you had Botox because I really don't like when people don't try their own products.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you know?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that because actually, it's a rule at my office. Now, I'm never going to force anyone to get anything done. And there's some things that just don't apply for, you know, there's certain procedures that just don't apply for certain people. However, if you do work with us and you are a candidate for that procedure, I really do encourage all of my staff to try every single service that we have. And that, you know, if anyone ever wants to apply at Mystique, that's free. So I think it's really important for us to all be able to speak about it in a firsthand manner, as compared to saying like, oh yeah, I watched this video.
Right, exactly.
We don't bring anything into the practice unless myself, my mother, my sister, or, you know, one of my key staff have actually experienced it, and multiples. Plenty of reps come in and tell me how much money I can make off of whatever. I'm not interested in that because I'm interested in the long-term game of making sure that our patients are happy. Our number one and number two referral sources are patient friend and patient family member. And that's because Mystique offers a very high level of customer service. We offer incredible outcomes in the highest realm of safety.
And I know that your staff's really happy working there because I know one of your staff members that's here today. And I've heard nothing but great things about Mystique. So
thank you.
That's why I'm excited to have you here. It was really funny to figure out that the chiropractor I was going to was also connected to that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had never heard of an office that had both of that going on either.
It's a rare situation. When you walk into our building, you walk in one door and you go into the urgent care, you walk in another door, you end up in a medical spa. So we are all tied together. We're the same company, but the staff, we've got a set of staff that stays at Mystique and a set of staff that stays at First Health because they're just two completely different worlds.
And so you have a Night of Beauty come out. Tell us about it's an annual thing you guys do. Tell us about that.
Yeah, semi-annual. So actually when I was 16 years old, that was one of my first jobs with my father was he'd check me out of study hall in lunchtime when I was at Fresno Christian, and I'd go set up for our spa nights and then go back at 3 o'clock and help run it with him. And we used to do them quarterly. We now do them semi-annually. This is actually the last year, though, that we're doing them semi-annually. Starting next year, we're only going to be doing them once a year because it's such a big event. I mean, we take our entire office apart. This last year, we had well over 600, this last year, in March when we had it, we had well over 600 people come through our doors. All of our industry brand reps are there. It's a crazy time, and it's the only time of the year that all of our services and products are on sale.
And I'm glad you said that the reps are there so then people can ask questions instead of just taking everyone's word for it, your word and employees, where they could be like, okay, I heard this about this or this side effects. What's the deal? And they could talk to them.
Absolutely. So all of our industry reps are there to be able to give you education, and then all of our very highly trained providers are there to be able to give you their customized recommendation. I don't allow anyone to perform a service until I'm at the point that they've received extensive training. I've actually received many compliments from not only the reps, but my staff that they don't really know any other office that invests so much into training, because I want to make sure that when I run into you on the street and you ask me why my face is glowing and where do you go, and the number one question I get is, okay, I'll come to your office, but who should I see? every single provider is trained at a level that I would recommend you, my mother, my sister, or for them to treat myself without any hesitation. These girls are very highly trained.
And then you also can give good gifts of these. So if someone does not want to get one of the services, but they want to buy it for someone for Christmas, Christmas is coming up, so you come and load up on the Night of Beauty. So when is the Night of Beauty? So
our spa night is next Thursday, October 12th, from 12 to 7, and no reservation needed. However, if you do RSVP on our website, you're going to get locked into receiving an extra raffle ticket. So every $100 you spend at our event, you get a raffle ticket to be entered in to win over $20,000 in prizes. And we're very proud to say that one of those prizes is with you.
Oh, yes, you get a training session with me.
Yeah. You can come anytime between 12 and 7 p.m.
And there's food, so that's like lunchtime. That's perfect.
There's food all day. The DJ's there all day. The wine is there all day.
Oh, don't tell me that.
So, yeah, and we've got people that go around lunchtime, they come in to buy their stuff real quick, and then they come back with a girlfriend later on in the evening to get a drink at the end of the night and just hang out and party.
So what's one of the things I can expect in the goodie bag?
So there are over $700 in free gifts in that goodie bag. And the way that you get that goodie bag is when you bring a friend. So let's say you brought 2 friends. You would get a goodie bag, and then both of your friends would get a goodie bag. There's no limit on that. It's just limit one bag.
And it's not like first come, first serve?
No. If we just happen to run out, we'll make sure that we take care of you on the back end.
$700? Does anybody else offer that? I don't think I've ever gotten a goodie bag like that.
Mystique is special. We have in there has a session of Cool Tone, which is the muscle stimulation device I was talking about. That's a $450 value. There's a gift card in there for laser credit, so you can use that for our laser hair removal, our IPL, skin tightening. Yeah, the Armenian, right? I'm very familiar. And our laser is, I swear, by far the best. I vetted out so many different machines before we went with ours, but there's a $150 laser credit in there. There's a free $50 gift card, and then there's also skincare products in there. So yeah, it's a pretty nice gift. Maybe I got too generous, but whatever.
I will so be there. And that's really cool that you're like opening it up to that, to where it's like, all body, mind, also like all the stuff that you guys embody. I like that.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a different place, but at Mystique, we want to make sure that we're offering an incredible level of customer service that in the medical world, I feel like there's this stigma where you're kind of treated like a number, or it's like a cattle call. And we really want every single one of our patients to feel like family.
And I was telling your employee that I was telling her because I was like having a problem where a medical office, not your guys's, kept on canceling their appointments on me. And I would get by a text message, and she's like, well, come over here. We don't do that stuff. Just come and get it done. And I was like, that's cool, because I kind of started to feel like, it's like getting dumped on a text, but you're paying for the service. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I understand that, life comes up. An example, we're spending the afternoon tomorrow with my staff, just having a team bonding session. So there are a few people that we had to move around there, and we appreciate our clients being understanding. But at the end of the day, we all understand that without our patients, we don't have a job. And so you're our priority. You really are our priority.
And that is great. So everyone needs to go. It's free to go. And like you said,
Absolutely.
You sign up. And then you guys have good food too, right?
Yeah, we've got good food. We've got free wine, free champagne. Our caterer will be out there. We have a live DJ that's there the whole time. It's really a party. Is it the biggest sale of the year? Absolutely. But we don't dismiss that it's a really big party. It's a lot of fun.
And then if we buy the Botox, we buy this, that, or the other, how long do we have to use it?
Never expires.
Really?
Never expires. We have people that have stuff on their account from 5 years ago and started having children, and it's just not their right time. It never expires. And also, we're really reasonable. If you want to, now you got to transfer the package in a whole, but if you want to transfer the stuff to your mom, your sister, your friend, we're more than happy to help you do that too. We really keep in mind that you're investing in us and your belief in us, and we, again, want you to be treated like family. How would you want to be treated in that situation? And that's how we'll answer your question.
And then on that note, so if someone bought $500 worth of Botox, but then they want to transfer it to filler, can we do that as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A lot of times people don't know what they really need. We see the advertising. It's kind of like the WebMD where you self-diagnose yourself. like I said earlier, our girls are so highly trained. So if you end up purchasing something that maybe not the right service for you, they're going to be there to give you recommendations. So, but sometimes people get stuck in their ways, and we're more than happy to make sure that whatever you're purchasing and receiving is the right service for whatever you're trying to accomplish. I can't tell you how often a patient comes in and asks us, how much Botox do I need for my lips? And unless you're trying to get a lip flip, which, turning up your lips a little bit, give you a nice little pout, you really need filler. A lot of people mistake those two. And so if you come in and buy Botox because you think you're going to need it's going to fill your lips, we'll absolutely trade any of that out. It's just, that's one of the common misconceptions that we get in our world.
Well, I love it. Thank you so much for coming on my show, and thank you for what you guys do. And I just love that you're running it, and I think your dad would be really proud of you.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, it's really an honor to get to meet you. I've heard about you for so long, and you've got such a good reputation. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you. And
everyone needs to follow Mystique online on social media. It's Mystique Spa on everything, right? All the
Mystique Medical Spa, Mystique Med Spa Fresno. You'll find us.
Follow them.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're my favorite person because you brought me goodies.
I got food. Everybody loves food.
Everybody does love food. What did you bring us?
So I got a little bit of everything. I got Dad's cookies out of Fresno. So
awesome. I know
Dad.
Lance.
You know Lance from Dad's?
Yeah, he is the dad. I think that's really, he has a great story, right? What do you know of his story?
So I know you guys started at Clovis Culinary Center, which is kind of a hub for food entrepreneurs here in the Central Valley. And it's a good place if you create anything or you make cookies, if you make spices, kind of anything food related.
So what do I got here? Is this like butterscotch?
So this is a Biscoff, which is I think it's like a gingerbread cookie.
Oh.
And this one's a cookies and cream cookie, and that one's an Oreo strawberry. I think it's like a new special they have.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna try one. So so this is one of the many foods that you guys promote. What about this stuff?
Yeah, so this is a farm. This is Burkhart Organics out of Dinuba, and they're a farm that specializes in organic stone fruit. And they sell to local farmers markets here in the Central Valley, and they're also
stone fruit. Okay.
Yeah, so this is some of their dried fruit. That's
oh my gosh, looks so
the
good.
jujubes.
This is so awesome. Do you know these people too, the farmers?
Yeah, I do know the farmers actually. Super
That's
nice.
so great about your job. You get to actually meet all the owners of all this.
Yeah, that's how I kind of started. Food was working at farmers markets. My stepdad owns a farm in Visalia, so I started kind of my interest in food with working at farmers markets, kind of getting to know like some produce and food vendors and stuff like that.
So, you're from Lemoore. Your dad at the Visalia Farmers Market, and your grandparents over in Hamburg. You're like the epitome of the Central Valley.
Right there, yeah, South Valley.
That's why it's all Central Valley foodies. Okay, so you gotta tell us how this all started.
So, what am I looking at too, by the way? Camera? Okay, so Central Valley Foodies started as a Lemoore and Hanford-based Facebook group, and it was all about promoting the small local food businesses within the Central Valley. People would go on there and review, hey, I ate at, Dad's, or I ate at such and such place, and they would kind of talk about like the hot spots all in the valley, the little mom and pop spots that nobody really knew about. And I was a member of that group for many years, and then the admin of the group who created it, which is an author based in Lemoore, his name is Jason, he asked me to take it over. He saw my passion for it, and he's like, why don't you take this thing over? So I took it over as admin and fell in love with it. And
what does he write for?
So he's if I'm correct, he's a fantasy author.
Ooh,
and
exciting.
So he writes all kinds of different things. Yeah, super cool guy. I think he has some books on Amazon you could probably check out.
And so then you took over this. And so what do you have to do? Every day you promote a food or every week?
So I kind of just, I loved the Hanford and Lemoore foodies, and I just was always kind of like searching to tweak it, and I was like, well, why don't we get more people involved, and why don't we just call it Central Valley Foodies? And we can kind of include everybody in the valley. We can also, you know what, we can talk about all the farms we have here. We're the kind of like the epitome of Central Valley, agriculture and everything. It's the most
yeah, in California, we feed the world.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
And there was like that show called, what was it, from farm to fork, or something like that. And this is almost a little bit like that, because you're actually getting to know the owners. You're going to farms. It's like, I like that you're bringing that. I mean, I didn't know who these people were. Now it's like you brought that into my radar. So it's really cool that like you're going and you're knowing the people that are actually growing this stuff and then producing it.
Yeah, farm to table eating is something that I'm like really passionate about. I just think it's really important that we eat as close to the source as possible. And here, better not any place else than here, Central Valley, we have all kinds of things that we grow here that people aren't aware of, that are utilized in many different aspects of the country, such as Masamoto Farms, for example. They're here in Fresno based, I believe, and a lot of people don't know, but their peaches are so kind of world renowned, and a lot of different breweries, for instance, will select to buy their specific peaches only.
Nice.
And we have so many little things like that here in the valley that I think that people should know about.
So when we follow your group, you kind of educate us on that.
Educate on the food, the sourcing, and kind of like the sustainability behind things, and get to know the owners and the backstory on what inspired them to create the different brands. And
you're not just on Facebook anymore, now you're on Instagram.
Yeah, so I got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and I've started some YouTube interviews that I kind of started with. But I'm thinking now I'd like to move that all towards a podcast-based show. So kind of like what you do here, but for Central Valley Foodies, and bring on.
We'll follow you on everything, so we can see when that comes out, because that's great. Do people reach out to you a lot too to come like review their food?
Yes. So on TikTok I've been messaged, on Instagram I've been messaged, not so much on Facebook anymore, but the Facebook is the heart of kind of the whole thing, because it started with Hanford Lemoore Foodies and then went to Central Valley Foodies as a kind of a rebrand. And get people message us, come try the food, and anyone who wants me to come on and try their food, I'll personally go out and do it. It's a lot of fun to make the videos.
That sounds like a terrible job.
It's horrible. I get to eat really good food and walk away, bloated, and just have a great time with it.
What were some of the things that you were like super surprised by?
I've been really surprised with food-wise, you mean?
Yeah, like when you're like you've never heard of a place, they said come try the food, and then you're like, whoa, I didn't even know about you guys.
Well, you know what? I'm trying to see. Well, Dad's Cookies really surprised me, because it was just one of those things I had heard about, and some of these places that are in gas stations, believe it or not, are some of my favorite places. So where they're located is kind of cool, and then you get in there and try the cookies. You're like, oh my God, these are good, and then you get to know the backstory and how he started. And then like Mega Texas Barbecue. Have you ever heard of them? Mm-hmm. So they're in a gas station as well, and super good barbecue. The guy is like, the owner's really nice people, and he's kind of like a hub for people in the barbecue industry now. There's people from the Bay Area who come to take his barbecue classes that he'll host at Tioga Brewing in downtown Fresno, and he's able to, give that knowledge to other people maybe wanting to start a barbecue business, maybe wanting to start their own, just barbecuing for their family. And it's really cool to get these backstories on things like that.
Okay, so that's food. What about, you did mention breweries. Do you ever go into the wine and beer and then get to try all of that stuff too?
Yeah, for sure. Craft beer. We've got a lot of good craft brewing places here in Fresno. Tioga Brewing and Full Circle. And a lot of them use like local, produce from Central Valley. Like Tioga, for instance, they've used peaches actually for a beer they made a couple years ago.
Oh, nice. I think I might have had that.
Yeah. So they do stuff like that, and there's a big wine community here too. Hanford's got a place called Lush, and there's a lot of spots like that here in Fresno.
I mean, there's so much that you could like do this for on and on and on years to come, because there's just that many places here, and people don't even realize. And the fact that you're hitting everything from like Hanford to Sanger, and not just in Fresno, that's really cool.
Yeah, so if you have any recommendations, just let us know. We get hit up all the time.
I bet you have a list too that you haven't even, that's some uncharted territory where you're like, okay, now you have time to go to this place.
And then it's like you go and try one thing from one place, and then it's like, well, you got to go back again to try something else. And so it's like there's endless amount of like content ideas.
For sure, and I can't even remember the last time I had jujubes, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, try them out.
Oh my goodness. So what were one of the surprising things when you took this over, this whole challenge?
I was surprising on the draw for it, and it's growing and growing and growing every day. It's pretty incredible. When I took over the Facebook group, it had about 6,000 or 7,000 followers. Now we're up to about 15,000, 16,000, kind of around there. And the TikTok's doing really well. And it's just promoting and cross-promoting and collaborating with different people. Helps the brand.
And what I'm impressed with is that you are a very quick responder. Like on social media, a lot of times I would think you're getting a little bit flooded in your inbox, but you make time for everybody, so that's really impressive.
Yeah, I try to.
You're way better than me.
Yeah, it's something to keep up with. I'm on those accounts a lot. My other social media, like, try not to be on as much because it gets a little overwhelming trying to like manage different accounts, but try to stay on it. But yeah, the other thing that I was surprised with, the other thing I was surprised with Central Valley is how many different other food adjacent vendors there are. So there's farms and there's cookies and restaurants and stuff like that, but things like spices, for instance.
Ooh, I love spice.
This is Spadle Ranch, great seasoning company.
Ooh, so
based
this is
out
like
of
for
Selma.
barbecue and stuff.
Yeah, so they make,
Nice.
it's a family-owned seasoning company. That one's for tri-tip. Smell it, it's really good.
Oh my gosh, so I love spices, so I like to put spices on everything. Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I get to listen, and it has a lot of pepper. Like, I love that.
It's got like a good amount of sugar to it.
And what's this?
So that's Kern Family Farm. They're out of North Fork, so way up there. And they grow a little bit of everything up there, but they also grow lavender, and they make lavender hydrosols, which that is. You can spray some on your arm there.
This isn't anything that's going to get me high?
No, nothing like that.
Oh, this is amazing.
But yeah, they have a store up there called Gnarly Carrot, and they utilize their own fruits and vegetables to make juices up there. They have a health food store. They sell their produce. It's really cool.
That is so neat. And then you got to tell me the story behind Central Valley Foodies. I love the shirt.
logo.
I love the little happy face in there. So tell us how we came about with that.
Yeah, so the name I came up with, and the logo, actually, I had a girl design this logo. I told her, she's like, well, what are you going for? And I was like, well, go with something kind of like, I guess more natural, more kind of like hippie-ish, kind of me, something me.
I love it. I think it's
something
great.
Something's kind of fun too. She threw the smiley faces in there, and
I would rock that. I was looking at that, I'm like, I would wear that.
I'll
That's
get you
super
one.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I've thought about like different ideas for the O's. I made I did an avocado version of the O's in one.
Oh, that's fun.
And I thought about like donuts or just anything food.
But you were going around different ideas for the name, right? Wasn't there at one point you guys were brainstorming different names instead of Central Valley Foodies?
So yeah, there were, at first Hanford Lemoore Foodies, and then I did South Valley Foodies because I was like, okay, well, South Valley technically is Hanford, Lemoore, and everything down kind of that area. Armona and these different spots. And then I was like, why don't we just do whole Central Valley? There's so many spots. Like you were saying, I mean,
It's endless.
I still need to get to Bakersfield, more spots in Modesto, and all these little communities that people maybe haven't even heard about.
That is so cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Yeah.
So we could follow you. You said TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and then do you do live sometimes when you're there?
I do live sometimes too, and I'm looking at getting a podcast. So
But if we
definitely
follow you on everything, we can see when the podcast is coming out.
Yeah, I'll announce on everything. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Just look out for all that stuff. I'm looking at getting some QR codes put around the valley for easier ways to find us, and as well as creating some potentially some subscriptions and different things. Some events and different things I got
like
planned.
a magazine too, yeah.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
Possibilities are endless. So.
And I'm glad that you're super active where every day you're kind of posting something so we know where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah, it's a little tough right now. It's kind of a one-man job, and I have a few people who help me out with some editing. But I got some things planned. I got some things in the works.
Anything you could tell us about?
Well, the subscriptions, I got some big subscription ideas, some product ideas as far as collaborating with some different vendors and creating like certain blends of different things with Central Valley Foodie's name.
Oh, so if we get like a subscription, it's not just like magazines, like we can get like a little gift every month and like
Potentially,
in the mail?
that stuff's all kind of.
that would be super cool. I love
stuff's all
that.
kind of
That
in
is
the
so
works.
smart.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with it all. Keep following us.
Oh, we will. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on my show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
So what you do is pretty cool, and I haven't really seen anything like it. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, I'm a second-generation chiropractor in Old Town Clovis. I share space with my dad at Bullard Chiropractic Clinic. And when we met, we were out at Clovis Fest doing a community outreach project where we actually go into the community and we scan people's spines with a computer.
I've never seen that. That's what I've never seen.
Yeah, so we're evaluating, how their nervous system is functioning. So the whole basis for chiropractic and chiropractic treatment is we want to make sure that your brain can communicate to your body through your spine.
So what's different between doing that and like an MRI of the spine?
Well, an MRI is going to evaluate you for soft tissue issues like disc bulges is probably one of the main things that people go in for. And the interesting thing when you get into health and healing of the body, right, most people it would make a lot of sense, right? There's a bone in your spine, there's a disc that's a softer tissue, of course, and then another bone. And then the spinal cord runs down the back of the inside of the spine near that disc. And when a disc suffers damage, it puts pressure on the spinal cord, or can, and spinal nerves. And when you get an MRI, it really shows where those spots are in your spine so that they know what the best course of action is next. What they don't really tell you is that 80% of people walking around have a disc bulge of some kind that's asymptomatic. And so most people are developing major spinal problems without even knowing what's happening. Only 10 to 15% of the nervous system that travels through your spine actually communicates pain in the body. So 40 to 60% damage before you ever feel it. And so that's why our office is really passionate about being proactive about getting out there and doing a preventative type scan for people. So we use, of course, the latest technology that's available to chiropractors that's computerized so that we can let people know, like, hey, these areas of your spine aren't doing so hot.
Gosh.
you might be noticing some pain here or there, some problem here or there, and then really taking a full, well-rounded approach to correcting the issue, getting the problem to go away, and then teaching the person how to keep it away lifelong, like for a really long time.
What's one of the biggest problems we're doing? Why we have messed up spines?
Oh man, that's such a.
I know that.
How long is my interview? How long can I talk for?
Well, I know a lot of people are at the desk for hours. I know that's a big problem. But what are other daily things that we're just doing wrong that we could change?
Well, okay, so I'll say this. There are two types of physical trauma that affect the spine. Your daily trauma, like what you're cluing into, that can be how you sit at the desk, your computer setup and all that kind of great stuff. It can be something like a sleep position. So I find a lot of people with neck issues, shoulder issues, they're sleeping on their stomach with their head turned to the side all night.
And that's bad.
For years and years and years. Yeah, it's terrible for your neck.
How are we supposed to sleep?
I mean, so this is a great question. I get this all day long. So you're going to get the spinal encyclopedia tonight. So people can sleep on their back. One of the biggest complaints that I hear with this, or why people don't sleep on their back, is that their spouse doesn't like the way that they snore when they lay on their back, so they won't do it. But if you are laying on your back, there are ways to adjust your pillow and really get the proper level of support for your head and neck. You can put a pillow underneath like your knees and have them bend a little bit, and that releases the low back while you're sleeping. And then really it's just having, a mattress that's to the level of support that you need.
So sleeping on the side all the time is a bad idea?
Not necessarily, but it really comes down to what pillows and mattress you're using. You can cause, like I've seen this a lot with people, is that they sleep on their shoulder for many, many years and then they end up with shoulder issues, Can you blame just the sleep position? Obviously there's more that goes into that, but sleeping on your side, you want to be in as close to normal posture as you possibly can. Normal being like if you were standing straight up with your hands by your side, your head centered. So
you want to sleep like you're in a coffin pretty much all the time. That's the right way.
Well, I mean, like you think of like you have a chain of bones, 24 movable vertebrae go down your spine from top to bottom. And if those aren't in alignment, if they're cocked to the side or they're rotated, or you're sleeping like really weird on a joint, right? Or maybe you think you really like I get this a lot too, I like a really firm bed, but I'm sleeping on my side. Well, like that's going to put added pressure on the shoulder joint. And, of course you can sleep with a pillow between your legs, sleeping on your side too. And that helps keep your pressure off your pelvis more straight and aligned. So,
well, I have a big butt, so if I sleep on my back, that's going to create pressure on my lower spine. So is that what you're saying about putting the pillow under your legs, kind of? So my butt's not sticking out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That would be really, really good for you because, and even practicing exercises where you activate your core and help push your lower abdomen kind of toward the bed, right? So that you're flattening out your low back just a little bit. People that say they have a big butt typically have what's called a hyperlordosis in their spine. I see it on X-ray all the time, where the forward curve in their low back is too accentuated and it's creating pressure points in the top and the bottom of the low back.
That makes a lot of sense.
So it irritates the lower part, kind of where you would have a belt. Where the sciatic nerve lives between the fourth, fifth, and first sacral nerve. And then, of course, at the top of the low back, there's a transitional area between your thoracic and lumbar spine that I have to adjust on people all day long. From slouching to, like if you have a hyperlordosis, there's a lot of things that'll put pressure on that area and then really affect the way your body functions.
So you say you give advice on some of these things. What do you tell a lot of your clients that have been with you for years and years about how they should be daily besides sleeping? You mentioned some exercises.
Wow. Well, it just depends on what they're facing. So we like to approach healing from three powerful ways that the body is affected.
Okay.
So one of the major ones is we do a lot of chiropractic rehab plans to help correct the problems in the spine and imbalances in the muscles. So the secret to really living a pain-free existence is keeping pressure off the nervous system. But that's just one way to approach it. So we put people on plans that, it includes more like repetitive treatment to help create like a brace around the spine, and more of like an imaginary brace that helps heal the ligaments and heal the muscles and everything around the spine, so that the soft tissue can actually hold it in place where it's supposed to be. That takes pressure off the nervous system and elevates their function to a new level. The second way that we approach it, and what most people don't talk about, is that nutrition is actually a huge tool available to us to optimize the function of your body. There's ways of detoxification. If we find evidence of like heavy metal toxicity.
That's built up in our spine?
That's built up,
Okay.
Just in our tissues.
Okay.
Something is
So going on like a cleanse?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we should do,
Cleanses,
okay.
and we have specific products that we test you for. So
Okay.
one of the main ways that we test people's bodies for the need for the nutrition is called nutrition response testing.
Okay.
And it's a really amazing and unique system of nutrition where we actually test through your neurological reflexes that communicate to your organs. And so instead of just like going to Costco and buying a gummy, we're actually going in, what does this person's brain need? What does this person's thyroid need? What does their gut need?
Nice.
And
So this is a lot more than just regular chiropractor. You're doing a lot here.
oh, we do. This
is great.
I'm not
No,
even
I
halfway
love this.
through. Yeah,
I love
no.
it.
So the need for nutrition is so vast. None of our food sources are really adequate to nourish our bodies. So I find even people going to Whole Foods and spending hundreds and
Right.
hundreds of dollars on all the best organic stuff is just like one little imbalance that we find. I like to talk about this a lot. Imbalances in the enzymes, imbalances in the stomach acid. You won't be able to break it down and utilize any of that nutrition that you're spending all that money on. So a lot of times I'll take even high-level athletes, high-level nutrition. I mean, they've been doing, from vegan to vegetarian to like, they're doing the best of what they know how to do, and we're finding imbalances in their systems.
I
So
love that. That's
then,
cool. No, it's cool that you're tweaking it, because people think, well, I'm doing everything. And they're like, no, there still is hope. And I like that.
there's still hope, yeah. So we love working with people with thyroid conditions. We love working with people with gut and autoimmune conditions and stuff like that, because we can actually go in and figure out what products are going to make the biggest difference for them, put them on very targeted protocols, track their progress over time, and then those imbalances, and this is what most chiropractors don't tell you, is that those nutritional imbalances lead to problems in the nervous system that actually affect the spine. So, case in point, like I've been working on this young man for a few months now, getting him adjustments. He's got rib pain, he's got low back pain, all this kind of stuff that we work on all the time. And through the process of his re-exams and tracking everything in his treatment plan, I noticed that his gallbladder and his liver reflexes were actually weak, and he's actually dealing with congestion and problems and like inflammation in those organs that are causing the reoccurrence of the pain. So if you went to someone who just focused on aligning the spine and oh yeah, come in, of course, and this, it's really a deceptive thing. Like health problems are very deceptive. Like like you start adjusting someone and they feel better, and you're like, oh cool, I got this problem solved. No problem. Like we got this. And then as you track it and go on, sometimes they can do things that then cause it to re-flare up, and then you have a new problem on your hands, right? You have to approach the solution in a different way. So instead of just popping the same bone or popping the same rib, he's going in for a nutritional evaluation. We're seeing what his liver and his gallbladder need to be healthy. Then 95% of the time, of course there can be other strange things going on, but the majority of the time, if he follows that nutritional plan, the inflammation will then really be drained out of those areas. Those organs will function better, and his rib pain and his lower back pain will go away. So.
I love that. This is like so much more that you offer. You're not putting a Band-Aid on people. You're like really trying to figure out and going deep.
You got to go deep. So, if you have nutritional it's one of the most frustrating things about being a chiropractor and just adjusting the spine is that if you get someone with a nutritional issue, you don't have the tools to help them, then you can pop the bones twice a day, 6 days a week or whatever, and they may feel better for a little bit, but then it'll just come right back. So, we try and take that extra step and really get people back where they need to be.
Do you take insurances, or is it all?
Yeah, it just depends on what treatments people need. So,
Well, some people don't take insurance. I was wondering if you do.
yeah, I'm in network with most insurances. Insurance is tricky because there are some still that cover really well. There are some insurances that don't, like most insurances don't cover that well. So usually
because it's chiropractor.
let's face it, the insurance company doesn't make money if they keep paying out all these benefits, right? So there's some things going on there. But so we try and apply the maximum insurance benefit to the treatments people need and save them the most money. But there's usually like a balance between what's covered and what's not covered. There's some out of pocket usually.
So I've heard from some chiropractors we're not supposed to adjust ourselves. What's the deal on that?
Well, you injure the ligaments and then you're in big trouble. You can, the chance
can't
that
crack our own neck. I can't go side to side and try to crack my back. Like it's gonna be bad.
You can, but here's the science behind it.
Okay.
Here's the science behind it. So, the reason why you wouldn't want to crack your own back is because when you injure your spine, there's a certain number of segments in your spine that will be moving too much. We call them hypermobile segments.
Okay.
Then there are certain segments in your spine that won't be moving enough. And those are the ones that we target as chiropractors. If we're going in and really finding the restricted ones, those are the ones that we want to move. But typically the ones, and then of course there's ones that move normally. But when you just do a self-pop movement of some kind, I see people like do this.
I do it all.
They all this kind of stuff. Typically what you're popping is the ones that move too much. You're not actually getting to the root of the problem and moving the ones that are stuck. So you're just causing a hypermobile segment to become more mobile. Physics tells us that, an object that's moving stays moving type of thing. In motion stays in motion, right? So you're causing more problems in that area over time. And in the upper neck, when you're doing that for your neck, you can really cause a lot of problems because the arteries from the brain feed down through the inside of the top of the neck, the vertebrae in the top. So those are the ones associated with stroke and all that kind of stuff that you kind of want to stay away from. You don't fill your own cavities, you're not your own OBGYN, you're not, you're not your own, you don't birth your own child, there's just certain things that are better applied by professionals who have professional training. So can you pop your own back? Yes. Do I recommend it? Probably not. And it depends on the area. There are safer areas, I would say, that if you pop, you could probably get away with it for a while, but the damage that you cause over time isn't worth it.
Well, I know when you go to a chiropractor, and they crack me in a way that I could tell that has not been active in a long time, and it feels amazing. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The parts that get adjusted that you can't do on your own.
What people get locked into is there's endorphins released when you adjust someone's spine. So when you're popping your own bones, you get this kind of euphoric, oh my gosh, but doc, I feel so better when I do it. Rip, and it's
I get it.
Tell you don't. Tell you don't. You feel better now, but then it reaches a point where you have, several bones stuck in different positions, and you're like, and I get this too, I normally pop my own neck, but now I can't. Now when I go to do it, I can pop it on this side, but I can't pop it on that side.
Right.
Well, what do you think you did?
Wow.
You injured yourself to where now your normal movement won't move those vertebrae and things are really messed up. So, we don't want that. It's not good.
So how booked are you? Can we come in for these scans? How do we go through the process? What do we do?
Well, we're pretty easy to get into. We've been more and more busy in the last 30 to 60 days. So it's
Because of the machine.
yeah,
Okay.
because of the machine.
But
and
so
everything.
we can book and then come in and get this. Is that how you start though? You're gonna
yeah,
give
so
us all that, the machine and
well, I didn't even talk about the last thing that we actually evaluate people for that is new in the last couple months is the need for energy healing as well. So it's really interesting. So the energy body, everyone has a physical body, okay? And everyone, like I can see your physical body right in front of me, right? It's the most densest form of your body. There's actually a spirit body that extends out from your physical body up to 500 feet in each direction. And just like your physical body is affected by stress and your chemical body or nutritional body is affected by different stressors as well, your spirit body is affected by all emotional traumas and different things that we experience.
well, we've been talking about that a lot lately on the show. So this is my viewers are not. This isn't new to them. So this is good. Keep going with this.
Oh, good. So I wanted to mention it because, like, I just did a session with a lady today with severe abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse in her past. And so I offer 5 different sessions to help optimize the energy part of your body, your spirit body. And this came about as my, kind of through my own healing journey. I started studying in a school that focuses on bringing people through like their own healing and then teaching them how to heal others and really serve their community in that way. So for the last 6.5 years, I've been training in that area, and I offer 5 different sessions. The one I was doing today is called an emotional cord cutting. And it's really where we go in and we remove the attachment of those emotional traumas from the person's spirit body. And when you remove those attachments and then you bring in an influx of light energy, then the person leaves feeling a lot better. So that's one of the sessions that I offer. There's another one called a life activation. It deals with activating 22 strands of a person's spiritual DNA.
Nice.
So if you think of the spirit body as a wine glass, let's say, everyone has a mixture of like light and dark.
Yeah.
Right? So
the good side and the dark side. I get it. It's true though. That's what we have.
Yeah, you have your shadow body and then you have your light body, right? Where one has a smile, one has a frown. I don't know, like the angel and the devil.
Yeah, we're always at war with ourselves. I get it.
Yeah, that type of thing. So the emotional cord cutting helps remove a lot of the dark and bring in more light. The life activation is like going from maybe like a 6-ounce wine glass to like a 60-ounce wine glass. It 10 times is the size of your spirit body, your capability to hold light.
Okay.
So it makes you a more powerful spiritual being. And so we find that people have like more energy to manifest. So that one is great on 2 different levels. I found a lot of results with that one for anyone with like depression symptoms because it reconnects them in such a powerful way to like where they came from, what we call the limitless light. People call God the Father, or a lot of different, depending on what belief system you're a part of. And so depression is a good sign or symptom that someone needs that. And then also with the 22-strand DNA activation, any trouble, like if you feel stuck or blocked, like you really want to manifest this relationship or I really want to manifest this like job or whatever, like the 22-strand DNA activation really like kind of sets you on like a conveyor belt that's like fast forward.
So if we're getting in our own way and feel stuck, that's a great. You just get us push, the little shove.
Yeah. So there's a few other ones that I do that, heal the 7 layers of the aura. There's one that has to do with the influx of like this really like strong energy that's just like, like the energy you use to like get stuff done. We call it fire energy. So it really helps people with like breakthroughs in their life. And then there's one that aligns you with the will of God. So
Wow.
When you align your will with God's will, there's just a layer of protection and a layer of just like you move through things with ease.
That's incredible. I've never seen a one-stop shop quite like this before.
So yeah, if people want to come in, there's a lot that you can get out of our business. So I try and make it really easy to get started. We do like a 2-day kind of onboarding process.
Okay.
So what you do is you come in, you fill out some paperwork. We sit down and do a detailed consultation. We move forward with a physical examination and x-rays if we're moving more into the chiropractic side of things. You can go right into nutrition. You can go right into energy work. It just depends.
And you offer us deals if we do kind of everything. I wouldn't go to any of these sessions and not get my back and neck adjusted, just so you know. After healing my aura, I'm going to be like, okay, now I'm jumping on that table. So
it's good. Yeah, it's good.
So you offer like deals like that, like discounts for it all?
Oh, yeah. So
okay. You don't got to go into details on that.
Well, no, like your second visit, we do a report of findings where typically we're going over x-rays, treatment plans, what services you tested for, what you need to actually get the most out of it. More and more people are needing to have a compound effect to get results.
I get that, yeah. And as a trainer, I get that.
It's like, as a trainer, if someone goes and, like, let's say you take someone on, they're 100 pounds overweight, but every time they leave your session, they're going to McDonald's.
Yeah.
They're drinking
it's a process.
milkshake.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a small part of like a big picture that needs to, yeah.
You know, it's like, a month in, they're stronger, but like,
yeah,
their body composition's a mess.
Yeah.
And their joints are starting to hurt because of all the inflammation and all that kind of stuff.
I get it.
It's like one of those things. So as a trainer, if you want to have a compound effect, you talk about diet, you talk about sleep, you talk about all these extra things that would help with the workout and muscle building process. Possibly if you have someone with low testosterone, you start talking to them about that. And
right.
all this kind of stuff, right? So in our office, it's no different. People are taking on so much stress.
So it just gets worse and worse too.
The latest research is showing that we live with more stress in 1 year of our life now than they used to in 50 years of their lives.
Whoa, I believe it.
Like within the last 100 years. So it's really amazing. Technology has brought this level of stress to our lives that we never get a chance to turn off. And I'm seeing that more and more, that people are stuck in this, what we call sympathetic dominant. It's the stress part of our nervous system, where they're just stuck on fast forward all day long.
Right.
For years and years and years and years. And then things start burning out. It's kind of like if you drove your car 24 hours a day.
Never rests, yeah.
Like, that car is going to need maintenance like no other, right? And so the compound effect in healing, when you approach healing from those 3 levels, especially all at once, where you're getting adjusted, you're getting the energy work, you're getting the nutrition, people are getting more healing in a month than they would in like a year. So now we're seeing the results, and people are holding them longer, which is really the goal.
So where do we call you and follow you? Are you active on social media?
Website, we've got livepainfreeotc.com, Instagram, Facebook, we got Rapid Body Revitalization. You can follow us and all that kind of great stuff. Our phone number is 559-545-1822. So if you want to call the office directly, we do offer a chiropractic special to anyone who watches Sparkle TV. So
awesome.
We can hook you up with a great deal to get started.
So mention that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on my show today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.